All right, Latwonna. This
Oh, you said my name right.
it's just how it's spelled.
I get so many
I
people.
know. I know. Um, just let you know, I'm on call with different people right now. So if I just put up a finger, that means I need to take an important call.
Okay,
All right. It's been a week. Every day has been a day.
right.
Just let you know,
Understand.
this is the first recording I've done in about a week and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And usually I do maybe like five a week.
Oh, wow.
All right. So I do want to just introduce you to the podcast. I'm Will. Everything I do is to lessen the burden that other people have, whether it's with disease, whether it's in life, anything. Like, I'm 100% for my people, for the community, and I put my all into it. Like, I'm overly empathetic, as some would say. Like,
Mhm.
I truly love us, and
Yes.
I thank you for joining me on this journey.
So, my name is Latwonna Wilson, and I am type 1 diabetic. I have been diabetic since I was 12, and now I'm 53. So, that's 41 years I've had this disease with no complications to my body, none. I am such an advocate for this that right now I am teaching a cooking class at the college here in Houston, Texas, now that I've moved here. I have a son that's 24. I've been married now for about 30 years, and I am so excited to be here. I am a retail manager now, also with other things in pursuit. And that's it. I'm just happy to be here. I am so positive about diabetes that it probably sometimes doesn't come off um, like my gift, because gifts of a diabetic is, to me, my gift. It's my gift. It's the gift that God gave me. It's the gift that I give to other people. And it's the gift that they give to me. Like, the gift is, okay, I tried this yesterday, Latwonna, and this what works for me. Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to try that. And we do that vice versa. So I teach classes and try to get people to transform their thoughts. So that's me. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I do. That's what my mission is to help people know that they can't die from this disease. They can't if they put their mind to something totally different. And a lot of people are so scared of changing their thought pattern and their tongue palate.
True indeed. Thank you, Latwonna, for joining me on the Chronically Will podcast. This is where we hold real conversations with community that need to be heard. Um,
Yes.
yes, diabetes has shaped us so much that we must take it with us everywhere we go. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got like, when you were talking, you mentioned the sorts of like always making sure people are at their best with diabetes. But I kind of heard in there where, do you feel as though people may think that you speak about diabetes too much? Because in this space, in this place, we do
Mm-hmm.
not. We do not. Because I understand why you want to gift people these intricate lessons and values and care,
Right.
because not only is it you, but like you said, you've gone 37 years with
Mm-hmm.
no complications. You
Mm-hmm.
were diagnosed at
12 years old.
12 years old?
Mm-hmm. I'm 53 now, so it's been about 41 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay, 41. You've gone this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So you've lived through multiple generations,
Mm-hmm.
4 decades of
Mm-hmm.
animal insulin, the advent
Mm-hmm.
of regular insulin, NPH and regular human insulin,
Yep.
faster acting insulins,
Yep.
um, modern insulin. We have breathable, inhalable
Yeah.
insulin today,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
continuous glucose monitors,
Yes.
all of the cycles and the current modern technology of insulin pumps where you don't really have to think about it as much as you previously do.
Correct.
You did exchange diets,
Mm-hmm.
all of those things.
Yes, I
And,
did.
and it's shaped you not only mentally but spiritually, and it's helped you shape others so that they can be at their
Correct.
best in management. So
Correct.
I truly appreciate you and thank you for doing all that you can to help better our community.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I started out with insulin shots, of course, twice a day. 12 years old, now you're a teenager, you're 13, you're 14, you're friends, you're in high school, and it never depressed me. I never, I can think about, I never was like, whoa me. I never was, to be honest. I don't know why I wasn't, but I wasn't. It was just kind of like when my mom and dad kind of took over the realm, because of course I'm 12. I can't drive to the grocery store. Who's gonna? It started with them. It didn't start with me. It started with my parents because I couldn't drive and I couldn't go and pick and have money and change the food that I was eating or that the family was eating. So when I speak to juvenile diabetes parents of what they were called back then, it starts with them. It starts with the parents, not the 6-year-old, not the 7-year-old, not the 12-year-old. So it's kind of like a family thing that happened. And thank God for my mom and dad who pulled in the rails and was like, okay, it was just me and my sister. She's my younger sister. They pulled in and gave me a foundation at 12 that leads me to where I'm at now.
Right. Because when we talk
Yeah,
about 41 years ago, were you diagnosed 1982 or 1983?
82.
1982.
Mm-hmm.
Latwonna, I was born 1983. So when we think about that, like you've had diabetes my entire lifetime, like
Yes.
even before, like your diabetes is older than me.
Okay. Yes, it
And,
is.
and,
Pricking your fingers, peeing in a cup to see if the
yeah,
ketones were in the protein, was protein in your ketone. It was, I
look,
learned all of that.
and
And yeah.
my kids call me old. like, like like your diabetes is older than me. You're not old, but your diabetes, as far
My
as chronic health
diabetes,
conditions,
yes, it is. Yes,
you've
yes.
had
And
many.
people are so amazed by that because I'm part of a couple of groups on social media that are 25 plus years over. So when I meet someone, Willie, that is 67 years into this, it touches my heart because they're old. That's like you said, that's older than me. And I always tell them that's a gift that you just gave because that is so awesome that you're on here talking, you're on here telling us comment. I mean, it's to me that like I said, I always see people that are so talking very negative all the time, and it kind of depresses me sometimes with that part because I'm like, it doesn't have to be that way, y'all. I done come so far to now I am not taking
Tell them
insulin.
about it. Tell them about it
Yeah,
because
because it's
it's truly a gift of life.
it really is.
because
It really is.
the alternative to that is the inevitable.
Correct.
And you were
And I have lost quite a bit from it. I have lost quite a bit from it. And in their 30s, in their early 20s, I lost family, and friends. So I get that it's a mental thing. But for me, when I was 12, I think that's why I call it my gift, because to me, I thank God that he gave it to me at 12, because the people that are type 2 diabetic, that now they're 40, they're almost, and now you gotta tell me I gotta change what I eat. Now you gotta tell me. Those are the people that I really want to reach, because those are the ones that are not dying quicker, but it's hard for them to
it's the
turn their
mental.
mindset. Yes,
Yes.
yes, it's hard for them to turn that off. Now that I'm 40, you telling me I got to do this, you're telling me I got to do that. So at 12, I hadn't developed my tongue palate at all. I'm 12. Nothing.
Right.
So that gift for me was at a young age, because if I was in my 20s and doing what I was doing, it would have been harder. It would have been
Yes.
harder.
So just recently, I think 2 weeks ago, I was in a Facebook group, and a few people reached out to me and asked me if I could speak to a certain young lady, because she had posted something in this group about wishing that she would just die, because
Mm-hmm.
she
Mm-hmm.
said she lived 19 years without diabetes and
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't want to do it. And all of these people were just like trying to speak courage into her, strength into her. You had people that were like, I've been diabetic for 30, 40, 50 years or whatnot. But
Right.
she did not want to hear any of it. She said, that's okay. You can continue being diabetic. She's like, but I'm not going to be.
Mm-hmm.
She said my life has changed and I don't want it at all. And they were
Mm-hmm.
like, are you on a continuous glucose monitor? Do you have an insulin pump? And she was like, I don't want none of these devices.
Mm-hmm.
She was so over it, and she had only been diagnosed for under a year.
Wow.
And
Wow.
come to find out, she's someone who I reached out to a few months ago, like when she was first
Right.
diagnosed, and I never
Right.
heard back from her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in this group, like I had two older women of color
Right.
who were diagnosed in the 1950s. So they've been living with it for 60 plus years. And
Right.
they were talking about how they were like, if anyone can get to it, it's you. And I said, I've tried. I've
Right.
done everything. She's
Right.
she's either going to read through these messages, these notes, and truly understand that people are there for her, or she's not. I said, I can't force it upon her.
Correct.
We can only show people our ways.
Correct.
Because as you
That's
said,
absolutely right.
you had people who passed at 30 some years old, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
family, even family and friends.
Mm-hmm. I have. And for that young lady, she's just scared. She's scared. It's something unknown. And she, for to me, I'm such a believer that I believe in Jesus, and I believe that the devil is also present in our lives. And so her mind is just going, 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 going. And she's been meditating on diabetes. Okay. She's just been meditating on it. So sometimes when you meditate on something so much that the devil's like, okay, she's meditating on this, we're going to take this further. We're going to take this further. So anything anybody says is not going to penetrate until she's willing to listen. Like God says, it's at will that you come to me. I'm not going to force you to come to me. Okay. So if I was to speak to her and talk to her, um, I would not go the diabetes route, to be honest. I wouldn't even talk to her about that
Mhm.
because it's something totally bigger.
Right. So when I did reach out to her initially, I just told her, I have a group of people living with type 1 diabetes, and if you want, you can join this group. I said, but
Yes.
I'm always here if you just want to have a regular conversation, because that's what I do. I'm a true empath at heart. And I told her, I said, I'm just here to I like have conversations just to normalize who
Right.
you are.
Right.
And she never replied. But at the same time, we know that during that initial diagnosis or onset, our blood sugar levels are so elevated
Mm-hmm.
that are so high that
Mm-hmm.
we haven't captured normalcy in a while. So
Mm-hmm.
those glucose levels that are high, they alter our mind, our
Mm-hmm.
thinking. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I know she does not know, since she hasn't been able to take the initiative to understanding diabetes. And that's something that I advocate for regularly. That's the number one thing I advocate with medical professionals, is that when someone is newly diagnosed, they
Mm-hmm.
should also, I mean, we're gifted insulin and things like that, but they should also be gifted therapeutic measures,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
this is a full lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I don't think the medical professionals, because they're dealing more with the physicality of
Mm-hmm.
diabetes, they don't
Mm-hmm.
understand the mental.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I get, and that's why, I at 12, it wasn't mental for me.
Right.
I think because, like I said, I think it's because, I don't know who her closeness people are, because it's going to take a village, um, and with doctors, that's why I got my certification for community health worker, right? Because I really, the hospitals, the doctors they don't they know medical stuff, but they don't really know
They don't get
stuff.
it.
They don't get. So prime example is my aunt, who is, it's not good. Her diabetes is, and I can't help her. It's kind of like sound like that lady. She doesn't want to listen to what I'm saying to her. But I go to the hospital to see her because she was there for almost going into DKA. And actually, you know what? Well, she wasn't there for DKA. She was there for high blood pressure. So when I got there, I'm looking around, I'm seeing what they're feeding her. And I said, well, why does she have this regular soda? I'm asking the nurse. I said, she's diabetic. Why does she have this? What is this syrup that you guys are giving her? Well, she came in for high blood pressure, ma'am. And I said, well, but she has diabetes. Well, we only go by the first thing that she comes in by. That's crazy to me. That I took the nurse out and spoke with her and told her who I was, what I represented as far as diabetes. You need to go get her something, because in her mind, now her mind's going, oh, well, the hospital gave me this. I can drink it. Oh, well, the hospital is okay with me doing this. But you guys are checking her blood sugar. It is real a passion for me. I am so trying to get in there some kind of way, because it's not only happening to my aunt, but it's happening probably to other people, and they have no idea.
And while we're on this platform, I have to go back a little bit, because I must gift your parents their flowers, because
Yes.
I've had so many conversations where young people,
Mm-hmm.
that adolescent
Yes.
time, we know it's hard on, especially on the maturity of a young, as a young woman.
Correct.
But many parents make their children take it all at 12
Right,
years old. It's
right.
I mean, the closest thing I can equate it with is making a 12-year-old raise an infant. Like,
Correct.
like seriously, like not even go through the process of carrying the child, learning about carrying the child and all of that, nurturing the child in your womb and getting that
Mhm.
connection with it, but just like, here, take this baby.
Right.
Go,
That's a good analogy. I like it.
go. And you have to raise it forever. Not until it's
Yes,
18. Not until it's 18, forever. And that baby's gonna stay a baby. like
correct.
like
Correct.
serious.
No, I do. I give them all the credit because, like I said, I didn't know nothing. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I couldn't change what I eat. I couldn't. I did for almost 22 years, 2 shots a day, checking my blood sugar with the meter on my finger, going to the doctor every 3 months. I ate 4 times a day, almost consistent time. And I mean, literally consistent.
You were trained.
That part. So the training kept going. Now I'm 16. Now I'm 17. Now, when I was 16, of course, the honeymoon stage starts happening, right? So I didn't know what that meant. I do now. But your hormones are going all over the place. I think that was probably the one point that I was like, oh, I don't really want this. But I didn't meditate. I didn't sit on it because the next day I had to go to high school. I mean, I had to go. Now I'm a sophomore. I got a boyfriend, and how do I tell them I have diabetes? And I remember my mom and them going to my doctor and telling them. The doctor that I had at that time wrote got a note, and I had to give it to my teachers to tell them, hey, if she starts, feeling this kind of way and she needs to eat something, blah, 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 this is why. But it was this whole big note thing, and I was just like, wow, now I'm just like, wow, my mom and dad. So I do that at my jobs now.
And that was
I do the same
before
thing.
IEPs, individual education plans, and
Oh,
504s.
yes,
Your
yes.
parents initiated that for you. Gift
I
of
it it
flowers.
it that's you're absolutely right. They're in their late 70s now. Um, and it was a blessing for me because I really don't know, because I met parents of the one particular young lady that we lost at 30. Her kidneys had failed, her eyesight. She's no longer with us, but her mom didn't change anything. When they found out when she was 14, they didn't change anything. So they come to me later. Now she's in her 20s and she's been in DKA so much that it's taking away. It's taking away her life. Like, yeah, I can change the way that you think about it and the way that you eat, and I can change all that. But when your blood sugar have been so high for so long, it is hard to reverse what has happened. Not saying that some things you can, but it's really hard. And when I talk about this to my class, I've never been in DKA. I don't know what it feels like.
Same.
I don't know what it feels like, so I can't speak on that. But it's kind of like your blood sugars, like I call it, like they asked me to describe it. It's like Pac-Man, right? The game Pac-Man. And you got your lines, right? This it's your life, you going, and here's it, and it's just eating, right? Now at this time, you're in the past 10 years, but it's still going. Now you got to stop that thing where it's at, but it already ate all them dots.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
It makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So you need to stop it because it's got some more over here it's trying to get to. So you got to bring your blood sugar. So I'm dealing with a young lady right now in Michigan, where I'm from. And I said, okay, because the biggest, this is why God, I know, has me doing this. Because the biggest thing for us, the biggest, mentally, yes, I get that. Okay. But the biggest thing is eating, what you're eating. Okay. You got to learn all that. I remember my mom sent me to my first, and I used to get, my doctor would prescribe me a class, meaning if she prescribed it, that means the insurance says, okay, this class right here has to be free because this came from her doctor. So every time I would go once a year to a class, I was the only type 1 diabetic in there. I was the only, everybody else was like, I'm like 22. I'm like, you got 50, 60, they type 2. And the lady is up there talking, and I'm like, I got a question. They're not, they're just giving you information, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, but this is why I came up with Gifts of a Diabetic, because I wanted to be open dialogue. I don't want to just be sitting up here telling you what to do and telling you what you should and shouldn't do and what this looks like and what a hemoglobin is. I don't want to do that. I want to have open dialogue. I want you to be able to ask a question, because I couldn't, as many classes as I've been to, it was very rare that I got to say to the dietitian or the person that was teaching the class, hey, I have a question. Well, what about if this happens? Never got to do that.
Right. It has to be more interactive because there's so many different variables when it comes to living
So
with
many.
diabetes.
Yes.
It
Yes.
just can't be like you're in a course and a professor is just like instruction book, like jot down there
Right.
all the notes. Like
Exactly. Exactly.
this is actually a lived experience.
A lived experience. And at that time, I've only been in it, what, maybe 10 years or so. You know what I mean? Like, so I always, my A1Cs. I remember a doctor told me my A1C, this was the highest I've ever been. It was like 7.3. That was the highest. And he looks at me and he goes, well, your A1C is a little high. So I think I'm going to put you on a pill. I said, a pill? No, 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 no. I'm type 1. I take insulin shots. He wanted to put me on a pill.
It was probably metformin. Uh, you were
I
at
don't know.
7.3. You didn't show any insulin resistance.
I left that doctor. Just because you have that degree does not mean you're going to tell me what to do with my body or any of that. I left. People need to understand, you have the Holy Spirit telling you that's not right.
And it's
That's
your
not right.
decision, your choice.
It's not, it's your choice. But everybody always say, I got a little voice in my head that told me that wasn't right.
I have to ask you, Latwonna. So in the Instagram group that I have, Chronically Will Podcast, People of Color, there's always someone's always like sharing like, oh, my A1C is uh finally below an 8, or my A1C is 7.9. I'm doing great or whatnot. Myself, like I've been trying to find a way to be able to not only guide and help people, because I do that on the outside. Like
Right.
I get people within non-diabetic A1Cs like below 6.
Right.
And when I see so many people posting that their A1Cs are 8, 7.5, 7.0, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
I equally want people like myself to be able to post, and other people to be able to post, because I'm sure you've heard Jerry, sugar-free Jerry.
Yes,
She's
yes,
been
yes,
living
yes,
with a
yes, yes,
A1C below 4.6
yes,
for many
yes,
years. And
yes.
myself, my A1C has been between, I think, 4.9 to 5.6 at the max over the last 6 or 7 years. And I know that normally when people post things like saying like how low their A1C is, we get like side eye, like
Right.
how are you getting these non-diabetic numbers? Now, I do know that when we move in groups, things get handled more easy.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Mm-hmm.
if myself, if you, if Jerry, and all of us, we have a side conversation and we
Right.
hop into the group one day and I say
Right.
like my A1C is at a 5.2 or whatever.
Right.
And then you follow that up and be like,
Right.
wow, that's great. My A1C has been at a so and
Five
so for
point 5.8.
5.8. And then Jerry follows it up and it's like, my A1C has been at a 4.6. Like
Right.
us moving in those numbers, like as a group, will initiate the
Well,
conversation where
exactly.
then people
Yeah.
be like, how? Because everyone always thought like I was the anomaly, but I'm
Right.
like, I'm not. I've learned my diabetes,
Correct.
mine.
Correct. Correct.
I mean, if I wanted to be at a if I wanted to be at a 7.5, I could be, but I don't want to
Exactly.
be. If I
I
wanted to
don't
be
want to
at
be.
a if I wanted to be at a 4.6, I could be. Like
Right.
I know how to get there.
Right.
So it's more so like everyone needs to know that you can get and reach the number that you want. You just gotta learn, like I said, learn your own diabetes.
Exactly. Exactly. Do you and and that's why I talk about food so much, because they're they're thinking and their tongue palate. What I did for myself is that I would try something new once a week. Once a week. Something new, something nutritious, something that's going to be great for my body instead of this over here. I would try something new once a week. Because now my tongue palate is like, okay, you putting something else in there. It's not bad. Now I tell people I've thrown away so much food. I've returned so much food in my course of my life for 40 years. I have.
Because it's a
But
trial.
it's a trial. So, but if you don't start that, it's going to continue to be harder to go out to eat. Just going out to eat. What you gonna pick? That stuff you gotta learn. Because once you get that to an awesome spot and your tongue palate is just like, you know what? I don't even like uh flour, white. I don't want white bread in it. Like it tastes funny to me. Or I don't want regular soda. It pop. It tastes funny to me. Like I have not had a regular soda and I don't know how long. I haven't had one since 12, 11. It tastes funny to me. It tastes funny. I haven't, when I was pregnant with my son, I remember my doctor, my problem is I have hypoglycemia. Hypo.
Dang.
Okay. So low blood sugar. So when I was pregnant with my son, I hadn't had a candy bar. I always ate. Well, you shouldn't eat all that sugar-free stuff or a diet soda. What I said, well, you know what? My body is fine. I have no complications with this. And that's what I drank. That's what I ate. And this is where I'm at. So I don't go into all of that nutritional stuff. I hear people, oh, this has got this in it, this has got that in it. I get what y'all are saying. But at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, when I got married, I had that. I had a wedding reception with cake, regular cake. I had a wedding reception with wine. So it's not like that. So don't say that I didn't deprive myself a lot, but I knew where my diabetes took my body.
And you knew how to handle it.
Handle it. Correct.
You got to make shifts and adjustments to better you, because I mean
Exactly.
that was 20 some years ago then.
Correct.
And look, you've extended that another decade plus.
Correct. Correct.
living with diabetes, and there's
Living
truly,
24/7.
yes,
Yes.
it's truly the gift of diabetes
It's the
because
gift.
other people, they don't know this information.
Mm-mm.
They're just consuming whatever they can whenever they want. Um, then that's fine. That food makes
Right.
you happy, but you just got to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
Learn
You
food,
gotta
learn
learn
your
it.
diabetes, learn your insulin, learn those things
Correct.
because I mean,
Correct.
we learn new jobs, we learn new
Yes.
education, we learn
Yes.
new cultural things. Why can't we
Yes.
learn the thing that is keeping us either alive or the inevitable?
Because to be honest, Willie, I have so much other things going on than my diabetes, pretty much. I'm just an advocate for that because I have a young lady who reached out to me on Facebook, and she is just was newly diagnosed with type 2. And she was like, everybody, they asked me, oh, what do you eat? What do you eat? And I'm like, okay, I can't just tell you you have to give me something else. Okay. So what I did with her is I said, okay, I told her I drink almond milk. This is what I drink. Da, da, da. She's like, well, you know what? I drink rice milk. That's good for you, right? And I said, well, they say that, yeah, but can you send me the back of the box so I can kind of see what you're drinking?
Mhm.
Let's just start there. She sent me that box.
I know rice milk. My daughter was born with food allergies, and rice milk was like one of the only milks she could drink at the time. And I remember those ingredients, the carbohydrates.
We couldn't, but of course for your daughter, that's a different story.
Mhm.
But as a diabetic, I told her, and it's so I really teach how to read labels uh in the class also. But yeah, it was shocking that there's so many people, and she is terrified. She is terrified. I told her, don't be terrified. You got this. Your A1C is what? She was like, they say it's 7.9, 7 point. Okay. I've had people get newly diagnosed at 15%
Mhm.
A1C. So,
Look,
okay, you're not
you must have known I was 14.7.
really. That's what I hear all the time. And I think mine's, well, in the 80s, they didn't really tell us it was
Right.
what
Right.
it was just like, oh, your sugar was 500.
Yeah, it was many
And
years until they actually had that
exactly,
formal A1C.
exactly. That's another thing that needs to be addressed with the American Diabetes Association, but I ain't gonna go into that. But yeah, she is freaking out, and so I'm trying to get her. I'm actually trying to get something going with um, groups of people, and just really talking and teaching them about food. Now, I'm not a vegan.
Same.
I'm not a vegetarian. Okay. But when I go out to eat, and I'm not a big meat eater, I'm kind of all over the place. Like my taste buds, and I know I get that from my mom. My taste buds are all over the place. I try anything. So, but I just know if I'm going into Red Lobster, if I'm just picking that one because that's the one everybody knows. But if I'm going into that place, okay, of course they're giving you the free biscuits. Okay. Of course, they have a lighter menu. They have the menu. It's got all the stuff on it. The stuff that you used to eat. So
Right.
now you gotta kind of change your way that you eat. That is going to be the biggest main thing. And to be honest, there's really good stuff out there. Like I haven't
Right. There's
I bring
options,
there's so many options. We're blessed. That's a gift to us.
especially today as compared to 20, 30 years ago.
Yes, yes. So
You have the
so much
nutritious
better.
information. Like
You
Exactly.
cannot. You can't. It's inevitable. You have to just try. Like I say, try something new at least once a week. It's going to be really hard.
Something I see people get caught up in, and I used to have this conversation with a close friend of mine all the time, and we were trying to more so educate people in is like you should not be always having to like I mean we correct, but you shouldn't treat it like diabetes is a correcting process.
Correct. Yes.
Like you eat and then I got this insulin that's gonna fix it.
It's going to take right. I'm gonna have this piece of cheesecake,
Yep. And then I'll wait till my blood sugar
and then
goes
I
up
just wait.
and then
Right.
that's
Right.
not how diabetes should be. You
Right.
should be proactive. Like we should
Correct.
not only prepare but take the initiative to stop those high spikes later on. Sometimes we're going to get them. We know that.
Correct. Sometimes we're
But
going to get them.
but
Absolutely.
as we said, change the mindset to where today we know what pre-bolusing does. Like
Correct.
back in the 80s, don't
I just had
pre-bolus.
it.
Don't they didn't want anyone to pre-bolus. You probably what did you do? 15 and 30? Or 30 and 15?
I was on a slow acting and a fast acting mixed together in the
Right.
same
And
syringe.
pH and regular. So
Correct.
I took 30 units for breakfast and then 15 units
I don't even.
for
I don't even
dinner.
remember. I don't even
That's
remember what I took at 12. I have
that's
no
what I
idea.
did. And I did that for probably about 9 years.
Wow. Yeah. No, I have no idea. I don't even remember at all. But I just know I stopped it uh almost 23 years ago. 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, people need to truly understand that they should not be chasing down that high because that's just telling me that you're staying high
Mhm.
longer than you're staying in range.
Correct. Correct.
Because let's
Correct.
say we go to dinner at 5:30 p.m.
Right.
We don't leave dinner until let's give it 2 hours, 7:30.
Correct. Correct.
That means you stayed high for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And let's say once you got up to 220, you decided to correct.
Right.
You already got a stubborn high brewing. So you're going to need more insulin than you normally take.
Absolutely.
So you're
And
probably
depending on what you ate, and
right.
depending on what you ate, may act different in you than it did with me.
Exactly. That's why they need to learn their own. Yep.
I'm telling you, that is the biggest misconception to me. Like you just said, that is the biggest.
Like it's all in the same.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, yeah, I have diabetes. Okay, I got that. I don't keep saying that. But what I do, I am an advocate for in the workplace. I am an advocate for in the workplace. If I start a new job, of course, I give them my note. This is I may need extra 15-minute breaks.
Your parents have trained you well. When you start that job, you give them your note.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Give them the note.
My notes. And then that way, legally, you have nothing over me to let me go for anything. Okay. First of all. And then they'll be like, oh, LT, your thing's beeping. You okay? I train them. I train them. Y'all, if y'all hear me beeping and y'all see me go to the back, I gotta go feed my insulin, is what I go tell them.
You are definitely your parents' child because you started off. I mean, you said that in the beginning that your parents would give the school the note.
Correct.
And that's what you do today.
Yep.
And you said your parents were training you. That's
correct.
What you're doing in the workforce. Like you're training them.
Yes.
I mean, you already just said like you probably get your eating habit style palette from your mom. You are your parents' child.
I definitely am. My mom helps me cook at the class. When I'm at Lone Star College, in Cyprus, I go and cook, and she's my sous chef and my aunt, because of course they've known me since I've had this, right? So I let my mom tell them how she discovered I had diabetes at 12, because I didn't know.
Mhm.
I knew I didn't feel well. I remember that, but I remember coming back from Disney World, me and my sister and a lot of my family, we were in the little one of the little truck things, little mobile home thingies, right?
Mhm.
I remember that. And I remember drinking so much water in the hotel, but I can put two and two together. I can just remember sitting in the bath and I'm like drinking the water that's coming out in the bathtub, drinking. And I remember sleeping. All my friends and cousins, they're all playing. I was so tired. My mom said I had lost a lot of weight. Well, now that I look at the pictures from the Disney World trip when we got back from Florida, I can see that. And then I remember eating a mini size sneaker. We was dropping my cousins and them off. We're still in the mobile home, getting ready to go to our house. I remember eating that little piece. That was it. I felt awful. I mean, literally awful. My mom, we didn't go to emergency then. She called the doctor the next day. And so I was getting ready to turn 13 that next year, because it was kind of like August of 1992 or something like that, 1982. And she called the doctor and she was telling her, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing this. She said, take her to emergency right now. And my veins were so small because I had lost so much weight. They couldn't get veins in my arm and my hands, nowhere. They had to go down to my groin.
Right. That shows you were dehydrated.
Yes. Yes. So they had to go to my groin, get some blood out, came back in, told my mom and dad. I had no idea what that meant, and stayed there for back then they kept us there for about a week, week and a half. Now you just get it.
And gone.
Do what you gotta do,
And
and you out of there.
that's how it is with the advent of technology today, that
Yeah.
it does lessen the burden for us, but it lessens the burden for the medical team also. But
Correct.
at the same
Correct.
time, we should learn the intricate and measurable steps to managing diabetes, because just in case the grid the grid crashes, technology, Bluetooth,
All of that. What you gonna do now? I've done both. I've done both.
right? And
And I've lived and I'm living successfully with both.
right. Now, I did want to,
So
so your diagnosis story happened on vacation.
on vacation.
So many people have similar stories.
Yep.
It's like you done built up like this adrenaline and this rush, like I'm going to go do this, I'm going to have fun. You get so excited, and then you get there and you're like almost comatose.
Pretty much.
And you know what that equates to? Like, a lot of people don't know the different variables that are living with diabetes and insulin dependence. As you were talking about food, the number one thing that affects my glucose levels are things such as adrenaline. When I'm
Yes, it does.
I don't have to be excited.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me sitting down watching a sporting event, going to a concert, my blood sugar will start rising. And I spoke about this previously. Last year, my daughter played middle school basketball, and I remember going into the games and just sitting there with my wife and my youngest son, and my blood sugar was like 82. Within like 20 minutes, I'm watching this rise like 180, 200. And I had to start setting like temp basals with my insulin pump for these basketball games. And that's like many people on onset, like, or on vacation. They may not be
That's so
bouncing against
true.
the walls, but they have that adrenaline, like.
And you know what? That's so true, because I think at your age and in your stage of it, your hormones too are reacting. I don't have that any longer. So the longer you have it, your pattern of your symptoms start changing little by
Right.
little.
Right.
Okay. So I used to have that because I remember my mom when I was 12, and now, I've had it now 3-4 years, and my dad, he's veteran now, military, he was our disciplinary. Don't you make her upset. It's going to raise her blood sugar. you know, I remember them having arguments about him being, mean to me or whatever. But that's my dad. I'm not, you know, oh, you got all these boys calling here, and just all kinds of stuff. And like I said, it was just me and my sister. That's all
The
we just
different variables, your parents understood.
so my mom would say, "Don't you make her upset." So my dad would try to do that over the course of the years until I moved out, got married and stuff. But now that you say, but now it doesn't. If me and my husband are having an argument or whatever, I think it has happened before, but it used to be like the adrenaline, like you're saying, it would just rise. And
So
of
with
course I would
me,
check my
arguments don't make me spike. I'm very calm and poised person. Like
right.
but it's just like just watching. I could be sitting down like this, watching a basketball game, or having
Uh-huh.
having a recording with you.
And they'll spike it.
Definitely, it does it
Wow.
every single time. Before I like do these recordings, me and my wife, like any concert, we go to concerts often.
Right.
At the concert, just sitting there, like I don't get overly excited and none of that. Like I'm just enjoying it, and we'll just sit there and watch. And she's like, and I said, "You see that? My blood sugar just going up, and I'm just sitting there."
Wow. Now that I've never heard of.
Yep. There's
That
so there's so many different variables that exist,
that
and that's where like
and that's like you said, this whole conversation that I'm getting out of is they have to learn their own. And my goal and my passion for them is just to help them in the journey. I'm actually trying to get something together to take some diabetics to the grocery store with me. Take them to the grocery store.
hopefully you can get a grant for that.
I'm trying.
Or
I'm
like
trying.
endocrine office will offer like gift cards.
Yes.
Social services may. And I know
Yes.
like my dad, he has stage 5 renal disease, and they come in there and they give them gift cards like to grocery
Really?
stores all the time. Like anytime he wants, like they'll give him like $150 gift cards so that they can do their shopping or whatnot. And that's something.
I did not know. See, that was a gift you just gave me. I
Look, that's a
didn't
gift.
know that.
That's a gift we should have also.
Yeah. Like, but you giving me that information, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea of that information. So thank you. Yeah,
You're
I
welcome.
that's something I have to look into because I wasn't even thinking of that at all.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Jot that note down. Oh, so I did want to go back. So you were 12 years old, going on 13, in that hospital for about a week.
Yep.
Do you remember any like of the stay, the training? Did they pull out the orange?
I remember the orange. Yes, I remember the orange. I remember the insulin. And it's funny because the whole time I was doing insulin shots, I never gave it to myself in my belly, ever. Why? I have no idea.
And you know what's
I
crazy about that? That's the only
never.
place when I was diagnosed, that's the only place I gave insulin. That's the only place I knew. That's where they told me.
Really?
They told me in my belly. And I remember like
No.
maybe a few years ago having a conversation with my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, type 1 diabetics, y'all give insulin in your stomach." And I'm like, What?
Never. Not one time. Seriously. Not one time. Never gave it to myself in my belly.
Was it more like thighs, arms?
Thighs, not even really my arm. If I gave it to if it was given in my arm, it was either my mom or my sister. But I never did. It was my thighs. It was my buttocks. It was my thighs. And then I started getting tissue damage
Mm-hmm.
in there. And that's when my doctor was like, hey, we're going to try you on a new machine, an insulin pump, Medtronic. And I was like, okay, what is that? Okay, we're going to let you wear this for 24 hours with saline water. Still got to give your insulin shot, Latwonna. And I said, okay, all right, we'll try this. 24/7, you got to wear it. I'm like, okay. And that's how I got introduced to the insulin pump when I was 20. Oh, no, I think it was like 30 something. Yes, it was after I had my son. Yeah, it was probably 33, 34, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when I was at the hospital when I was 12, they took us into a class with a lot of the nurses, and I remember my mom and dad. My sister, of course, still had to go to school. She was 11, I think, at that time, and she didn't want to change none of her foods. And I literally just got this information from her. Like, I didn't even know that. Like, she was like, I didn't want to try none of that stuff. Now all she drinks is Coke Zero. She don't want. There's nothing regular juice, soda pop, whatever you want to call it. She doesn't drink none of it. She said it's nasty to her.
Zero and water.
Pretty much. She is Coke Zero. She was like, well, I used to, all we drank, because my dad he just bought Diet Pepsi. I remember at 12, 11, 13, 14, Diet Pepsi. That's all my dad, he brought into the house. And then they had big packs back then they had big packs of sugar-free Kool-Aid. And I remember my mom saying, we're going to try this new sugar-free Kool-Aid. And I'm like, okay. So she would pour it in the big container like you would have Kool-Aid back in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I drank. And so if I would go to a birthday party at 13 and 14, they had cake, of course, chips, hot dogs, all of that. And I would scrape the icing off of the cake, lay it on the side, maybe do like this a little bit, and I would eat the cake because I wanted some. I'm a kid, but I didn't overextend it because the high blood sugar didn't make me feel good at all. And I remember my first low blood sugar. My mom and dad and sister, you don't know what to do. She was just diagnosed. I remember waking up at the hospital. At that time, I probably had it for a year and a half. And I remember coming back to the house and there was sugar on the floor in me and my sister's bedroom on the floor. There was sugar on the floor because they, I wasn't waking. How scary is that for your family? You know what I mean? Like, it brings tears to my eyes because to see me at 13 not
basically
waking up,
seizing and not waking.
That part you can't really extend and teach if you have not been through it.
It's a traumatic experience.
And I have put my family through it quite a bit, and I'm not even gonna lie, quite a bit. There's times I've had car accident. It's been a lot.
Speak on it. Look, we're in this space, and there are so many people who, this is where we become unapologetically us. This is where the real conversations that need to be heard are heard. So speak on the car accident. Speak on the many times, so that people can get get control of this.
Yes, yes. The low blood sugar is no joke. I had my last one was a year ago, and my husband and my son. Now, at a point in Michigan when I was living, my son probably was 8 or 9 years old, and me and my husband at the time were separated. And the only way my son, he's a kid, could tell me that my blood sugar, because I would sit down on the couch and he would look at me, he was like, "Ma, you okay?" And he would come up to me and just do like this.
Check for
He would
sweat.
be like, yeah. And he would call somebody quick. My mother, my sister, my husband, his dad, or whatever. He would call them quick. And but the working and the car accident happened so fast. And I remember that small voice in my head saying, "Check your blood sugar before you leave. Prick your finger," because you didn't have no Dexcom, you didn't have no insulin pump, none of that. You just took your insulin and ate dinner at 6 o'clock. Now it's 8:30, 9 o'clock, and you're getting ready to drive home. Check your blood sugar. And I did not. I'm driving, and pow, right into the electricity pole.
We have so many things in common.
A lot of the low blood sugars, thank God, have been in my house, in my home. Alcohol had a big one to do with it because it spikes it, and right. And the thing is, I'm not a big drinker. I've never been drunk in my life. Like I just was having a good time. It was my birthday. I had a couple drinks, over insulin, over medicating, learning. And by the grace of God, he has always had somebody there. Always. My husband, one time I was pregnant with my son, he was like, "I don't know why I got sent home." I don't know why I got sent home early. I know why you got, because we got a higher power that's better than you. Mm-hmm. So you came home and then you come find out that I'm going low because nobody's there. But he knows I'm going low and you got to get home. He said, "I was wondering why I got sent home early." Well, now you know. This was after, of course, me getting juice and everything in my lungs, in my body. But my husband and son, I feel for them because I couldn't even put myself in that predicament. I just know when I wake up and I hear the ambulance over me, Miss Wilson, come on. And I wake up and I'm looking around. I'm like, and I get so emotional. All the time. I start crying. I'm so sorry, y'all. I just and then, "Do you want to go to the hospital?" "No, this ain't my first rodeo."
Well, I always say that when they ask me. It's been maybe 4 years since I had a severe low where I had to be checked by like emergency personnel. Mm-hmm. But yeah, over the years, 20 plus years, 20 plus, like, I mean,
oh yeah. I can tell you stories, boy.
As much as they affected us then, they also it trained us to
correct
better for the next event, or because
correct.
I mean, it's been 4 years, but there will be another event. I know that.
Right.
I know that. But not only am I better prepared, my wife, my children, my family are better prepared.
Exactly. Better prepared.
I don't think I've ever told this one story. 2003, 2002, somewhere around there, 2004. I was playing basketball with my younger brother at my parents' house. There's like this big basketball court back there, and we're playing
Okay.
all day, all day. And I had, oh no, so it was like 2003, 2004, because I was diagnosed 2003 March. So it may have been that summer. And I did not
Okay.
know about the low blood sugars and whatnot. I just knew like I had to take insulin nonstop. I
Exactly.
wasn't gifted that information. And
Right.
and because I wasn't gifted that information, like I always was an athletic kid, always liked to play, and I'm playing all day and I'm good. I guess maybe the adrenaline kept me up. Maybe I was in a
Right.
honeymoon stage. I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
But we after we finished playing, we're in my parents' house, and I lay down in my brother's room, and I'm actually laying on the floor on his carpet. And the next thing I know, my two brothers, my older brother and my younger brother, are like shaking me like, Will, you all right? You okay? They said like I was having a seizure or whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. And then they said I just kept on going. And then they like see my eyes rolling in the back of my head or whatnot. And next thing I know, the emergency personnel are there. I don't know if they administered glucagon at the time. I really don't
Right.
remember. But I remember them asking my mom, Mom, God bless your soul. I know you didn't know. So they asked my mom to go get me something sweet, something high in
Yeah. Yeah.
carbs or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
something fast acting. So you know what my mom did?
What'd you do?
She went downstairs and cooked me pancakes. Like literally mixed the pancakes, put them on the stove in the pan, brought them up to the room. Mom, you didn't know.
Hey,
You didn't know, Mom. But
she did know.
you know what the funny part about that is, though, Latwonna? You know what she put on the pancakes? Jelly. She could have
Wow.
just given me the jelly. Yeah. And I probably have forgot about that story. Or I've never told that. It's just,
And but my thing is the people weren't giving you anything through
that's
your
what I'm
bag.
saying. I'm not sure if I don't recall.
Oh, gotcha. Because you know what? When we go through that load, they do tell the person thinks there's something to eat.
Right.
And so, because
That's
my husband has done that too, and brought me a sandwich in here
right. It's
after
usually
they've
for
already given me
after. Hmm.
sugar.
Yeah, because that glucagon just pushes your liver to produce glucagon, so that
Hmm.
whether it's like Gvoke or Baqsimi, whatever, it just pushes your
Hmm.
liver to push out push out glucagon to counteract the insulin that's on board, and it's just
Right.
temporary. It's not like
Correct.
something you can depend on. Like, okay, now I got this and I'm fine. Let me go play.
Right. Right.
So that's
Right.
why they're always
Exactly.
like, make sure you
Well,
eat
and
a
see,
meal.
the glucagon, I've never used the glucagon.
I haven't either
I've
personally.
never, I've never used it. So
I
I
have some.
it
Yeah, I have some all around, like different
somewhere.
places. Yeah. No, I leave one on my wife's dresser. I leave one on my nightstand. I have one in my bag that I take with me.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I like,
Well, you're more proactive than I am.
look, in these conversations, we learn everything, everything.
Everything. Yes. Yes.
It's like
But it's a part of it, and you keep going. You just don't keep meditating on it and getting your mind so wrapped around the difficulties of it than the good things about it. You think about it, a lot of us diabetics are prone to high cholesterol. We're prone to high
high
blood
blood
pressure.
pressure.
We're prone to all of this. Take that and be like, you know what? I need to, yeah, LT's right. LT, I'm Latwonna, but LT's
I
right. Yeah, she's right about the food. But just started, like literally. I didn't know that. So when I was younger, my mom, of course, knew they went to classes with me, but they knew eggs and bacon and sausage and all that wasn't going to raise my blood sugar. But when I was 32, I think I ended up having to get my gallbladder out, because I was eating all that fat stuff. So they
Gallstones.
didn't, they didn't know that part. They knew about because back then we didn't look at carbohydrates because that wasn't even on the box, or it was on the box, but it wasn't the biggest thing. It was sugars. We didn't on the labels. We didn't look at carbohydrates like we do now.
Right.
But the thing that I was taught was sugars. Look for the sugar. Look how much sugar it's got on there. Back in the 80s, that was what was told to us. So had no idea about carbohydrates.
And that's what people still say that who don't know, like say you're at a party or whatnot, someone will be like, oh, you can't eat. I forgot you can't eat the cake because of the sugar.
Right.
Not knowing like today, because of modern insulin and technology, we can. As long as we know how, like you said, we trained ourselves on how much insulin we need versus how much we don't, and how to counteract that insulin on board, and how to actually give more if needed. Like
and not knowing that, okay, yeah, I can't. You said I can't have that cake because it has sugar, but them baked beans over there and that rice, y'all don't know. Oh, yo, we got some food, cake or no, really.
Right. It's not the cake. It's not the snack.
Exactly. They think that though. They think that
it's the carbohydrates. Like that mac and cheese will not spike me as hard right now because of that slow process of the fat in it. But later on, that pasta from it. Mm-hmm. It's so much learning and education that, I wish that more like there was a greater media presence where they truly explained it, other than oh, so and so has a Dexcom now, they don't have to do finger pricks.
Right.
It's more than that. Like my brother-in-law actually said that to me. He goes, oh, you got that thing, so you don't gotta poke your fingers no more. And I'm like,
yeah, that's
more
correct.
Than that.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. But there's a but after that.
Right. And there's a long, thorough educational process that's about to follow it also.
Exactly. Yes. Right. Yes. So to me, diabetes is not my go-to talk about thing. It's not my people just know. Now if I go into the grocery store with my Dexcom and my pump showing all the time because it starts a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm not anything. I remember when I was probably 15 and we had the talent show at my high school, and my mom said, okay, now you got to eat breakfast. This is what I did 4 times a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Breakfast, lunch for almost 20 some years until I got on the insulin pump, and then I was able to regulate what I wanted to eat, what time I wanted to eat, and all that. Okay. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, for 20 some years. So I'm going to this high school thing, and my mom packs me a bologna and cheese sandwich.
That was your snack.
That was my snack. And it was so hot in the auditorium, the cheese melted. And then all my friends are looking at me like, oh, can I have some of that? I'm hungry.
Nope, not an option. You had to eat it. It was your
food. It was 2 pieces of bread and some protein.
Right. Yeah.
So I remember that was probably the one thing I remember.
Did you?
And I felt so like uncool.
Did you have to explain it to your friends at all? Because you were 15?
I was 15, and I only had it for like 3 years at that time. And when I went to high school, that's when the note was given. No, the note was given, I think, in the middle. No, yeah, a little bit middle school. And then, so I had to explain to my friends, and everybody was fine with it. They, no big deal. And then you go to the parties where all the drinking, the beer, the Mad Dog 2020, all of
Boone's
this,
Farm.
all of that. All right down the street from my house.
Look,
I'm going.
Night Train.
You know what? It's so funny because even though my friends knew that, but they knew my spirit. They knew my spirit. Anytime somebody didn't know me, all the guy friends would be, and they'll see somebody come up. You want to try some of this? No, man, she don't drink. I got that all the time. Like, I'm not kidding you.
Mhm.
All the time. No, she good. She don't drink.
Right. They didn't want you to have to explain it.
And they didn't even really know about themselves. They doing
Right.
their thing. You know what I mean? They smoking, they doing their thing or whatever, but it was never a thing for me to be included in the crowd. Never. I was always voted in high school most unique, meaning most weirdo. Hey,
So
y'all just use the word unique. Y'all just trying to be politically
look,
correct.
and so say, look at me now. Look at all these limbs.
Exactly.
Look at this smile. Look at my eyes. Like, come on now.
Yeah. That's okay.
Mm.
And that was true.
No, because since you were diagnosed at 12, about to turn 13, so I'm guessing what, seventh grade?
Correct.
Seventh grade, and my daughter's in seventh grade now, 13. And I think about that. How great of a transition process was that? A good thing is that you were diagnosed while on vacation, so that was the summer
Correct.
before.
Correct.
So you didn't have to spend that week out of school and then go into school with
Correct.
all the eyes on you. What's wrong with her? Did y'all hear about Latwonna? Like, because during that time,
Yes.
you know what was
Yes.
big? That was
Yes.
HIV AIDS
Diabetes. Yeah, it sure was.
epidemic.
It sure was.
Like,
Yep.
and when people like going into the hospital for long stays and whatnot. So
You know, I didn't really get a lot. To be honest, I didn't think a lot of them knew. To be honest, I don't think that they did. You know, of course, my best friends and different people like that, I think knew, but it wasn't ever a topic that was brought up because I just flowed with it. It wasn't no big thing. It wasn't like, oh, I'm coming to school sad, or because I'm thinking about who he over here talking to. You know, it wasn't. That's why I know when I say gifts of a diabetic, that's why through my whole course of it, I never really had a moment that was.
is it more like a moment that of like younger, like just like a moment of burnout?
Yeah, I never really had a burnout moment. Like I said, I did that one when I was turning 16 and 15. I mean, I'm sorry, 16 and 17. I did have that honeymoon stage period where I don't want to take my insulin. I did have that. And that is a true, when I hear people say that on the page that I'm on and that they went through that, I'm like, wow, it wasn't just me, you know, and it's a true stage of it to me. And I didn't know that at the time. And yeah, I did feel like that. And then, but once I felt that 300, no.
I
Okay.
agree.
Now I'm out of that.
Those two, like when you see it, your blood sugar going up and you can't attack it, and then you're sitting there, it's like, it's almost like you're living through a complication right then and there.
It is the worst. High blood sugar is the worst because at least, Willie, when we're going through our low, you.
Pleasure.
Oh, that's the cup. Oh, that's the cupcake.
Right.
Oh, that's some cereal I didn't eat before. I would just clean the refrigerator. Then, of course, you'll go high up again, but you'll come back down after you take your insulin, whatever.
Right. We know how to
But,
quickly
but,
adjust.
but it was, I was never a woe me in it. I was
There,
never a woe me. I
there's
just wanted
no
to learn.
there's no quick adjustment to a high blood sugar.
Correct.
There's a quick adjustment to a low as long as it's a manageable low.
Yes.
Not
Manageable
saying
low is
not
the key.
saying you're like
Correct.
40 and fall dropping and going in and out of consciousness.
Now, I'm going to tell you, as the course of the years that I've had it, like I said, your symptoms are going to change. So just get ready for that. Your symptoms will change. It won't be shaky fingers, sweaty face. Mine have changed. So the 40s for me aren't low.
They're low, but they're not a feeling of low.
Nope. Nope. Before I would have been done on the floor.
Do you have a
I don't sweat. I don't sweat when it's that one because a lot of times I'm at work.
do you have hypoglycemia unawareness? Because that's what I have. And it's
Um,
diagnosed and it's in my chart. So like typically people start they can start feeling it when their blood sugar is below 60. That's why the ADA has the
right,
guidelines of 70 to
right.
180 because they don't want you to
Correct.
reach to that 60. So me
Correct.
personally, I could be out in the yard working, gardening at 45, 50 and think that I'm fine and okay.
Yep.
But
Yep.
truly I'm not.
Correct. 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 I don't get shaky anymore. I don't get sweaty. I don't get um I do get a little I used to get very lethargic, almost to the point where I know I'm saying the same things over and over to that person standing in front of me. I mean, I know I'm saying it, but I can't stop it.
That's a sign of hypoglycemia. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, I know it, but I don't
repeating.
have those anymore. I don't have that symptom anymore. I used to. I for sure used to.
I remember those days.
Yes, yes, I for sure used to. I don't really have those anymore. So it's just the point of looking at my blood sugar and kind of seeing where it's at, and I'm like, okay. Or the probably the one that has been consistent with low blood sugar and hypoglycemia is probably the tiredness, the fatigue.
Mm-hmm. You start yawning.
Yawning, you want to lay down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you got to be careful because once you lay down.
Right. And it's often laying down wherever you are. Like if you're on a couch, like you could be
Correct.
there watching a movie with your significant other or whatnot.
Yep.
And next thing you know, like they get up and go to the room and you're telling yourself, like, I'm about to get up. I'm about to get up. Then 3 hours done pass and you wake up and you're on that couch and you look at your blood sugar and it's like 45 and you're like, well, let me hurry up and do something.
Yes. That part. Yep. Totally get it.
It happens.
Totally get it.
But I mean, we know how to attack it now.
We know how to attack it now. We know how to attack it now with the machines. Back then, I didn't have no machines.
Mm-hmm.
It was straight discipline.
Do you ever think
Period.
about during those early years where you were maybe out with friends and doing activities, high energy and everything, and you're like, because I didn't have that continuous glucose monitor, that you may have been running low and your liver automatically activated that glucagon in your body and it fixed it and remedied it.
You know what I would do? I was going off my feeling until I checked my blood sugar because I'm having fun. I was going off my feeling. I'm starting to feel a little shaky. My neck is starting to sweat a little bit. Okay, something ain't right.
Your mind was the CGM.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yep. And I went into the bathroom, pricked my finger, and you're at 60, 67. and I got to go get me some orange juice or something to drink. And that's how I corrected it.
Orange juice was the trophy. Hey, and you
You know what?
recently
I don't
look.
even drink it anymore. I don't even
I
drink it anymore. That's
look.
so crazy.
That's what I was about to say. Recently, I was somewhere. Oh, I know because I coach my daughter's track team, and this past spring, like we were rushing to a track meet, and she wanted to get a sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts, and
Right?
I asked them for orange juice because I didn't have anything on me.
Anything correct.
And you know that orange juice sat in my bag for like 3 days. I was like, I remember drinking these orange juices. Like,
Like crazy. I would have a half a gallon at my job, just to have in case. You know, and a lot of times like they're like, LT, can I have some of your orange? Yeah, go on and drink it. Because before I was like, hey, don't touch mine.
it's all yours.
It's all yours. Yeah, so I'm so glad that you asked me to do this because it is such a blessing to talk to you, talk to my people, talk to people that ain't my people, because I'm all about everybody learning about this disease because it is the same.
Right. So on that, what's some good advice you could give to someone? You've given many gems, many jewels throughout this conversation, but something directly you can give to someone living with or diagnosed with it today, or they've lived with it for a while and still diabetes is still in control of them, as opposed to them being in control of it.
Ask questions. Get your pride out of it. Get your pride out of it. I'm too prideful to ask questions. I got it. I'm too embarrassed to talk about it. I'm too self-motivated. I can do it myself to ask anybody. Please, please. Will is here for you. I'm here for you on Gifts of a Diabetic. Ask questions. That is my biggest thing, is that people just sit there. They just sit there with it. And there's people out there like you. There's people out there like you. Just ask a question. And no question is dumb. No question is ridiculous. No question is unheard of. If I didn't ask any questions, I wouldn't be where I'm at. If I didn't explore different people. Now, at my age when I had it, I didn't see a lot of me at all. I didn't see a lot of me in my family and my friends and my community. I didn't see a lot of 12-year-olds with type 1 diabetes and taking insulin shots and peeing in a cup. I didn't have that. So I had to ask questions, no matter what that looked like. That would be one of my best advice, is to not hold on to your pride that you have it, because I'm looking on Facebook and I'm talking about diabetes, and I know my friends, a lot of my friends, I'm on there. I'm like, okay, y'all, anybody got questions about diabetes? Because I used to send food ideas to them. Any questions? Any questions? Don't be afraid to say that you have it. Prideful to say that you have diabetes or that you're being pre-diagnosed with it. Just ask some questions. I get a few handfuls of people, but not a lot. They're too ashamed or afraid to say that they have diabetes all the time. Never fails. My mother-in-law is a prime example.
So I'm creating a one pager, was like front and back.
Okay.
And I've been speaking about this in the community, and I think most of the conversations I do talk about this, a one pager that the medical staff upon diagnosis should give you, a one pager that tells you about not only community resources, how to access insulin when you can't, things
Mm-hmm.
like that, what to do, like
Mm-hmm.
if you feel as though like you're in trouble with diabetes and you need like someone to speak to, but
Mm-hmm.
also on the opposite side, so one side you have answers from your medical staff,
Correct.
medical teams. So
Correct.
and on the other side, you have questions. All of the questions you should
Mm-hmm.
ask, like you just
Mm-hmm.
mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
questions you should ask, like what to do when my blood sugar is at this level.
Mm-hmm.
What to do when I can't access things? What to do when I feel as though I may be feeling burnout and I need to have these conversations? What to do when I want to give up on diabetes? Who
Mm-hmm.
to speak to, like those questions, what to do if I want access to more nutritious foods and things like that. Like, I feel like when we're given a chronic health condition, that chronic meaning it's forever,
Mm-hmm.
these these are resources that should be gifted to us because
Correct.
without
Correct.
them, the mind, the brain, we're searching for so many different things. We're going through Dr. Google. Reach
Right.
like communities are great. Communities are great. They've helped us better our own control and management.
Right.
But are those professionals, they should be sharing empathy. And that
Mm-hmm.
empathy starts with giving people things so that they can be at their best. Those answers and those questions.
Correct. There needs to be, like you said, the medical side of it. And then if there's something in there that they just can't answer, send them over to Will and Latwanna's
Right.
room.
Send them to the community.
Send them over here to the community room where
Knock
there
on.
are people that look like you, talk like you, dress like you, sleep like you, take medicine like you,
Mhm.
eat like you, all of that. Because if I would have met somebody, I learned this not on my own, but I really did because it was just learning my body and learning my diabetes
Mhm.
for me. But if I had that room to go to where you were at, where what's it, the sugar free,
Sugar-free Jerry.
yeah, that would have been a game changer. And it could have been for my cousin that passed away at 30 with type 1 diabetes. For her to have an avenue in her community to go to of people like us.
Mhm.
Now, you can't have everybody that works for you like us. You got to interview for the process. I got to know where your A1C is before you start teaching anybody. I got to know where your mindset is. I got to know where your
Mhm.
thinking on this disease is before I hire you to talk to your community. Everybody is not going to be an advocate for this disease if you're not living a life. If you're
Everyone.
not living what you're saying and living what you're preaching, I can't hire you to do this job.
I feel you on that.
I can't. If you at a 9.1, come back to me when you are in a good standing point. That's really what I want to do. I wish they had things like us, but we still have to interview for that position. We still have to come to them right.
Right. And we're a community resource.
Big time. Do you know how much it would change a lot of people to not have a professional that don't live with it 24/7, telling them what to do, how to feel, what to do on this insulin pump? My doctor told me, I said, I'm exercising so much, but I don't know why when I first started exercising, my sugar was going so high. Like you said, the adrenaline was kicking
Mhm.
in when I was exercising. I mean, walking 5 miles, 4 miles, and now it's going low. Okay, Miss Wilson, try the temp basal. No, okay, put the exercise one on. Okay, no. she telling me all this stuff. Ain't none of that working.
If you found
Have
someone,
you done it?
right? If you found
So
someone who
somebody
looked
coming
like you,
to, yes, somebody coming to me that look like me, that's doing what I'm doing, I can tell you this is what worked for me. May not for you, but this is on the stand of it. Yeah, they told you that, but that didn't work for me. Let's try this gift. Let's try this way. Try this way and see if that works for your body. Oh wow, well, that yeah, I mean, my doctor was saying it this way, but no, I've done it. I already tried that. That didn't work. Y'all don't have this thing on 24/7
Mhm.
trying to do just exercise. So I would give people the advice of finding and asking questions, please, because if there was a place where you could go, I would recommend that. But it's really because you got to have a degree in something. I get that. I get that totally. But your things that you're telling me of your stories and what you've done, and me and so many other type 1 diabetics, how awesome would it be if we were at the hospitals? We were hired for a newly diagnosed parent and their child to talk to them with empathy, with passion about it, with everything to start them on their journey.
Right. So we need that endocrinologist, like we had, like they gift us, the diabetes
Correct.
educator, like they
Correct.
gift us, but we do need the therapeutic measures, and we
Mhm.
need that community resource. And that could be all part of that one pager or business core that has all of these things in it, and have
Correct.
that highlighted, have them all highlighted, because these are your contacts. These are the four organizations
Correct.
or individuals that are going to make you or help you
Individuals.
be
It will
at
be
your best.
yes,
Yes.
individuals. Because I'm gonna tell you what, therapeutic is good. Okay, I understand you going to somebody
Hmm.
to help with your mind. I mean, that's not anything that I would do, but most people would need that. I go to a higher power. But my thing is with them thinking that in their mind, they've gotten so much information, so much medical. I mean, it is it will overwhelm me just thinking of what they're going and learning
And
right
that's
now.
on
Like
top of learning about diabetes and all the numbers. And
that's a lot. That's a lot. But to not go to the therapist and come to me and you to love on them, to understand with them, to share stories with them. But I came through. Look at where I'm at now. You got it. You can do this. I did it. I'm on my 41 years with it. He's on his 20 plus years with it. You can do this. What you need help with? What's pondering in your mind? What's pondering in your spirit?
right. And I guarantee all of the frames of thoughts you're having, I've experienced. And
That
we're going to work through this.
that's all I you know how much that just made my just go off my chest? Yeah, you can go to the therapist, and I'm not downing them or anything like that. I'm not. But for you to say that to me, and I know you deal with it every day, wow, I just got my shoulders felt a lot lighter. That's what we need.
Right. Because many years ago, when people were diagnosed, they were taught about the complications. They were given scare tactics.
Yes. Yes.
And today, I mean, we can be given care tactics. Like, seriously.
Seriously. Seriously, I'm thinking now I need to come up with something because it's true, and it is something that can change this whole world of diabetes. Change it completely. My cooking class is a prime example. There's people in there, older people, Caucasian people, Asian people in there. There's people that aren't even diabetic. They just want to learn what to eat and how to navigate in case they get it in their later age. I mean, of course, all of them are a lot older than me that are even in my class. But they come to me and they say, wow, to see somebody so positive about this and to see somebody living with this 24/7 gives me so much hope.
So much hope. And on that note, Latwonna, um, look, I know that you've heard the podcast.
I
You're the
have.
look, I know that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, you've lived with type 1 diabetes for over 41 years.
Correct.
You've had a cousin that passed in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
You were someone who's big in the community and want to be able to guide and gift, not give, gift
Yes,
resources because,
absolutely.
as you say, gift of a diabetic. You are
Mm-hmm.
that. You are that.
Yes.
And people need to know you. People need to see you and understand that if someone like yourself, someone like
Mm-hmm.
me, someone like you said, Jerry, who
Yep.
we've been able to take full control of this,
Correct.
and diabetes does not man us, it does not own us. We
Mm-hmm.
know, like you said, we have higher powers that are
Correct.
there that even above diabetes,
Even above.
they walk with us,
Even above.
not walk with us nonstop as long as we walk with them.
Correct. Amen.
So I must ask you, because you were diagnosed 1982. Everyone speaks about this 5-year thing.
Mm-hmm.
5 years, there's going to be a cure. They said that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I've never been told this personally,
Me either.
but with the newer technology and everything, I mean, we can see it, and we can see it. We can visualize it. May not be for us, it may be for the next generation, but Latwonna, on
Mm-hmm.
this day, we're June 4th,
Mm-hmm.
2024.
Mm-hmm.
If you woke up tomorrow and a cure is here, not an option of a cure,
Mm-hmm.
meaning a cure is here, you wake up and your closest diabetic friend tells you, calls you, or messages you like, I think my diabetes went away. Like, it's not here. It's not activating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm good. And then you open up your phone, look at your app, and you've been at like 85 throughout the entire evening flat, and you
Mm-hmm.
wake up at that 85, you step onto the floor and your blood sugar doesn't rise or anything. You stay at that 85 throughout the whole day. You're eating anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, you call me like, Will, if anybody knows, you know. How many people have reached out to you? And I'm like, Latwonna, it's here. We've been cured. On that day, a cure is here, Latwonna, considering your 41 years of living
Mm-hmm.
with diabetes. It's the only
Mm-hmm.
life you really know.
Mm-hmm.
But on that day, it takes away a great burden, great added on time and responsibility to our lives. So on that
Mm-hmm.
day, a cure is here. What do you do?
The only thing I would do everything the same. I would just not wear a machine. That's it. I would still do things. I would still eat 5 small meals a day. I just wouldn't have a machine on. That's all. Everything else would be the same because it wouldn't be a cure, it would be a healing. God came down and healed me of this. He's healing everybody right now. Everybody right now. How are you going to take it? Oh, okay, God, I ain't got to wear this no more. But I'm pretty sure there's people out there that aren't going to, because the cure, what everybody is saying, or the healing is what I'm saying. The cure is what they're saying. A lot of people won't take it. They won't understand it. They will want to stay in their pile of diabetes. They will want to stay in there because it's comfortable right now.
Comfortable, complacent.
Correct. So if you're asking me if that is something that,
oh, it's not an option. If it's here, we all have to.
I probably would still do the same thing. I probably would still wake up at 8:30, have my breakfast, have my coffee. I probably would eat my little snack that's 100 calories and under in 3 or 4 hours, 3 hours. I would probably have my lunch. I would do the exact same things. I just wouldn't have the machine on.
And having to give insulin.
That's it. That's it. I don't have to put my Dexcom on or none of that. But it would pretty much be the same thing. I would probably still be exercising. I just won't have the machine on. That's it.
The greatest burden of diabetes for me is just the time.
What do you mean by time?
The time it takes to prepare for things, the times it takes to fix things, correct things, the time it takes to call customer service, the time it takes to get all of these labs, seeing endocrinologists, reaching out to the medical professionals, having those conversations. I always think about time because I know that I have a legacy and a legend that I need to share with not only community but with my family. And always, and ever since I was young, I've always had thought of this, like, because I've seen so many like grandparents transition, close friends, and I'm always like, they weren't gifted the opportunity to share with loved ones, like things that they wanted to share. And those loved ones weren't able to receive it. So I think of time. I'm like, so that gives me more time.
So that gives you more time. Right. And that's something that not saying that's something you shouldn't be worried about, because the time for me, because with doctors and all that stuff, it doesn't bother me only because I was, I've got your endocrinologist, your gynecologist, your ophthalmologist for your eyes. And now I see a, oh my gosh, she just came. Shoot, what's the other doctor? It's another pathologist. But endocrinologist is just for my diabetes. Gynecologists, I would still be going to see and making appointments with them. Your eyes, I would still be going to see them once a year, making appointments. Your dental, I would still be going to see them, making appointments and going to see them. And for my mammogram, I would still be going to see her because I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015, cured from that, healed from that. So I would still be going to all of them except that endo. So that taking away that wouldn't be that big of a like unburden off of me for time. For you, it may be, because that's probably the only one you're kind of more dealing with.
It's not the only one.
It's not the only one. Okay. So for me, those are all mine. I have 5.
Right. So, diabetes in general probably would, out of all of the doctors, would be the one that I've spent more time with. But yeah, if I could get rid of diabetes, I would.
You would.
Yeah, even though I love the communities I've built, I know that these relationships will continue because we'd even have more to talk about.
Correct.
about like,
Correct.
what are y'all going to do now? How much, look, thinking about how much exercise and activity,
True.
the money that's going to be saved.
Mhm.
Like that's a
Yeah.
big thing. Thinking about like that money being saved, gifting my children the opportunity to do more.
True. True.
Even me being able to reach more people, speak to more people, travel, all of those things. But
You still can do all of that.
I can still do all of that. But I also think about how much money is spent every year dedicated to
But
diabetes.
yeah, yeah. But you got to remember, there's some people that spend money dedicated to so much other things than what we have. At least we have control. We do have control right now. I didn't know what the control I had was between 12 and 30, but I guess I did because I don't have anything wrong with my
Mm-hmm.
eyes, wrong with I don't have neuropathy, I don't have retinopathy, I don't have any of that
Mm-hmm.
concerning my body. But I have been through things. You know what I mean? Like I said, with the breast cancer, I had
Mm-hmm.
surgery twice. But if God said, "You want me to cure you or heal you from this?" and I said yes, and now it's gone. So if He said,
It
"I'm bringing you a
all
cure, I'm bringing you a cure or a healing for diabetes," okay, God, what you got? Take the machine off.
take the machine
Boom, I'm
off.
done. That's it.
No,
Everything else, I
look,
still got to call the gynecologist to see her next month.
but you don't got to do that extra screening at the airport.
You're right,
Look,
right. But you know what? I love going through that because the one girl, she was like, "Oh yeah, we see these all the time," and I was like, "Oh okay." I said, "That's good." And now I look at her, and she was like, "What kind of diabetes you got?" I just love it. I just love the open conversation, the open dialogue. So
right.
I'm all about that.
Because I mean, diabetes has gifted you so much.
So
Um,
much,
and you
so
think
much.
about the you can't even think about the years without diabetes
Mm-mm.
because
I can't.
because of diabetes, you've been able to do so much. So on that
So
note,
much.
Latwonna, I must thank you for joining me here on the Chronically Will podcast, where we hold
You are
real
so welcome.
conversations with
Yes.
community that need to be heard. And Latwonna, you are someone that truly needs to be heard. The true gift of diabetic.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.